Really exciting cast announcement from Magical Sisters Lulutto Lilly, the Studio Pierrot Magical Girl series that is premiering in April of this year. For those who don't know, hi, my name is Ayumi, and I'm always here bringing Magical Girl news, which means you should be following me if you want more of that. So, of course, a lot of things did happen today in Magical Girl history, right? But there's no time for that today because we have some gushing to do about Studio Pierrot's latest announcement for Lulutto Lilly. If I sound weird, it's because I am freezing right now in order for you to not hear my rice cooker in the other room. So, Lulutto Lilly, of course, this is the revamp, the rebirth of the Studio Pierrot Magical Girl franchise. It's been very, very clear from all the vibes, the trailers, etc., the story we have so far, that this is very much taking from Creamy Mami specifically, which is the very first of Studio Pierrot's Magical Girl shows from the 80s. But today's cast announcement is very, very exciting because it turns out that the voice actors for Creamy Mami slash you and Toshio are coming to this series. Now, they will not be reprising their roles from what we can tell. The comments from both of them say that, for one, Mommy's voice actor has not yet seen a single thing about it and was only commenting on the visuals that she had seen of the series so far. And then in Toshio's case, he was told that they had a perfect role for him. Now, I have some theories based on past things of this nature, so let's look a little bit into Magical Girl history, shall we? So, one of the most epic and most famous reboots in Magical Girl history is actually the 80s iteration of Himitsu no Akko-chan, which is a reboot of the 1969 series, or the series that started in 1969 and then lasted forever. In my opinion, the most underrated Magical Girl series of all time. But what's really important about this series is that when they rebooted the series, they cast the original Akko as Akko's mother, which was such a fun little thing. It's been stated that when they were recording lines together, she had a tendency to accidentally read Akko's lines instead of her mother's lines, which is very funny. Anyways, so that is already a precedent set, which leads us to another very similar situation, which was the third reboot of Princess Comet, another very underrated Magical Girl series. So Princess Comet, the original one, was a 60s live action series before becoming a 70s live action series, and then finally getting an animated reboot in 2001, which unfortunately was cancelled early due to low ratings and toy sales, but that's another conversation for another day. Important for today's conversation is that this reboot was very interesting because both Comet's mother and aunt were voiced by the previous Comets. You can see where I'm going with this. So, getting back to Lulutto Lilly, what I think is going to happen personally, and this is again speculation, not confirmed, is that what they're doing, bringing back these old voice actors, is that those characters are not actually going to be Mommy and Toshio themselves. I mean, that would be great, but I don't think that's what's going to happen. Actually, one more thing to consider that's very similar, I almost forgot about, is PGSM, right? The original live action Sailor Moon, which is actually currently being rebroadcast in Japan. This had a little bit of a similar situation with the Sentai series Maji Ranger, if I recall correctly. I did not watch this show, it's fine. Several actors from PGSM were playing roles that were kind of in a similar position as if they were literally Sailor Moon and stuff. So that's something to think about too. Anyway, the point being, there's a lot of precedent for this sort of thing with reboots and such in particular. And even though this is an original story, it is essentially a reboot of Studio Pierrot's Magical Girl franchise as a whole, and therefore we can treat it the same way. Actually, my original video today before this news dropped, I did want to talk about the question of the time slot and how long we can expect this series to be, because, and I've mentioned this before, we have an empty time slot coming in April because, as far as we know, Princession Orchestra is not continuing, likely at this point. I want to hold out hope, but right now I'm running on the assumption that it's not continuing. But who knows? In the event that Princession Orchestra ends in March and nothing is there, then Lulutto Lilly would be a perfect show to fill in that spot to air right before Onegai Ipre, which we know is premiering in April as of a few days ago. There is a space, possibility, for this show to last a whole year, especially because it talks about the secret lasting a year, right? So that would be very exciting because we haven't had that in a long time for this franchise in particular. That would be awesome, but that would also mean we need toys. Now, this is being produced by Bandai Namco Filmworks as well as Studio Pierrot. So with that in mind, I do think it's interesting to consider, for one thing, almost right away, even before we got any other visuals, they gave us the plushies and showed us the plushies of these two little fairy guys. That's interesting. Also, possible toys, of course. The things they're holding are distinct toys and all of that. We could get costumes as well. There's a lot of options. But the fact that the plushies have existed and, or at least have been shown for a while is promising. And also we got a plushie reveal of Mita, that other alien character, with the last cast announcement. So that is also promising, right? So it makes me think, and again, this is pure speculation, but this does make me lean towards the possibility that I want to believe that this will be a year-long running show. That's my thoughts, and I think that as far as our new cast announcement goes, I do think that instead of them literally cameoing as Mami and Toshio, I do think we're gonna get some sort of like new character, but the voice actor is a kind of cameo treat for old fans. Anyways, that's all my rambling, so let me know what you think. If you want to keep up to date on Magical Girl news, feel free to follow me, and don't forget to like and comment and share and all that good stuff. Alrighty, I will see you in the next one. Bye bye!